Welcome back to Invictus Forum. Click on the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. You can also follow us on Facebook at Invictus Forum. We are going to talk about dramatic episodes. When they ask you to talk about dramatic episodes, we are asking students to talk about actions or events in a text that can be put on stage or acted. Explain what the action is and show how important these actions contribute to our understanding of the text in question with reference to themes, characterization, plot, and style. We are going to begin with a spilling of food in front of a Wangename's house. Ntube and her mother spent time to prepare the island, showcasing Bakosi culinary. And by the time she takes the food, her mother tells her to be very careful. She spills the food, shatters the plate into pieces, and the island is eaten by a dog. Nevertheless, villagers come to sympathize with what had just happened. And the next morning, the women come very early in the morning to visit Imade to sympathize with what had happened the previous day. Upon the approach, she removes all her chairs and puts them on the ceiling. And when the women come, she reproaches them of having nothing important to do and asks them to go back home and carry on with their chores instead of taking interest in the simple fall and spilling of food of a child. These two actions are very related. The fact that the women come to sympathize highlights communality and solidarity. The reproach that Imade gives to the women makes the women to take offense for her effrontery and therefore decides to ostracize her from all female activities, highlighting conflict. And lastly, Imade goes back home and she's unable to sleep because she thinks that there is something behind the spilling of the food and her hurt, which is almost engulfed in flame, highlighting superstition. When Imade visits her sister at Ikenzo, they are informed that Mechane is seriously sick. And when the women arrive from Moabak, they realize that the house is neglected. The smell that emanates from it is very pungent, and their sister is very emaciated and smeared in her own feces. With a lot of love and tenderness, they clean her up, they wash her dresses, keep the compound clean, feed her, and later on, she dies. The care that the three women give to Mechane highlights love. The fact that even Moabak women do not even have an idea that Mechane is sick, whereas she has been very generous towards them when she was alive, highlights ingratitude. Thirdly, when Mechane dies, the women keep the compound clean and prepare the body before Imade beats the drum to announce the death of her own sister, which is contrary to tradition. The villagers partake in the funeral activities, and during the vigil, Imade beats the drum the whole night. And the sweetness of the drum is a combination of ebesu and besu. And many people have not heard such drumming for a long time. And during Ngando, the men who beat the drums choke it but the mourners are itchy to dance, pushing the people to reveal that the previous drummer on the vigil is a Made, thus forcing Ahone to convince her to come and beat the drum for the people. And when she climbs on the lead drum, the music comes alive. People dance. People rock their old bones on their beds, and even the ancestors join in the festivity, highlighting feminism. The fact that the beating of a drum is a male prerogative highlights male chauvinism. Next, Emade, her sister, and Tube go to Courtmain for a naming ceremony of a baby. And when the women arrive, they are received warmly, highlighting hospitality. The baby's things are presented. The baby is taken to the road to indicate that she belongs to the community. The baby is brought back home. The baby's name is whispered and announced to everyone, and there are incantations. The baby's umbilical cord is ground and mixed with oil that is rubbed on the baby and the child to bond them in love. And the remainder of it all is thrown on the plantain on which the baby's umbilical cord had been buried to link the baby to its ancestors. There is a lot of feasting and eating, and the ceremony is heavily attended, highlighting communality, love. The incantations are traditional aspects, and the fact that the baby is linked to its ancestors through the pouring of the remainder of the mixture of her umbilical cord highlights ancestral worship. Next, Emade takes a long journey to go and find out what could be the mystery behind her foot stubbing. And she meets a tapper. The tapper recognizes that she must be very, 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 very tired and gives her some fresh palm wine, which she gulps down and lets out a fart that leaves her embarrassed. Nevertheless, she befriends the tapper and feels confident enough to explain to him her predicament. And the tapper tells her simply to go back and make peace with her people. The tapper giving palm wine for her to quell down her thirst highlights love and generosity. Next, Emade decides to measure the grave in the center of the compound and begins to dig it, which goes against the tradition of the people. And even when the elderly people come and object, she insists that her sister will be buried there because it will be a deterrent for land grabbers to encroach and build on the compound. She wants to prove to the men that things that men can do, such as digging of a grave, can also be done by a woman, highlighting feminism, but also highlighting conflict, because the young men who are grave diggers take offense, but Ahone finally calms them down, and they are handed over the task and the food that is meant for them for such activity. Lastly, now before we go there, while in Moabak, she visits the young lady whose baby bites off her nipples, and both mother and child are in danger. The woman has strong fever, and the baby is wailing because the baby has not eaten. And when the situation is explained to her, she tells Nange that wizards have reversed the child's love against his mother, and therefore administers some herbs and concoctions. And the child and the mother are reunited in love, and the baby can now consume her mother's breast without causing her harm or injury. And at the end of it, the couple gives her a little token, highlighting gratitude. The fact that the mother takes pity on this woman and cures her also highlights generosity. And the fact that a mother believes that it is the wizards who have reversed the child's love from its mother highlights superstition. Lastly, after the long journey for so many years, a mother ends up taking holy water to wash her legs and the stone to cleanse them of the ill omen, whereas she had spent time moving from one place to another, seeking for a solution to find out what is the reason behind her stopping of what she considered her leg of ill omen. Such feeling highlights superstition, but the fact that she uses holy water, which is Christian, rather than some traditional element, highlights cultural conflict. Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up by clicking on the like button. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about what we are doing. Share these videos to other students so that they may also benefit. Thank you.